Well, I told Grace right before this episode that if I can beat Talon in an arm wrestle by the end of the year, he has to give me something.
So
What, how about that, Talon?
What do you want?
the first thing he said was Rocky, your son.
But then I was like, he probably wouldn't give that to me.
Maybe. We'll see.
Depends on how confident he is.
I mean,
He
I'm
just
always
gives the
down.
top line.
Remember, Hollis didn't even pull through on his last deal, though. We made a deal
What
about
was
the
our
Eagles
last
having
deal?
a better season than the Jaguars.
Well-
This just reminded me that he never did his end
So
of the
we
deal.
never
And I
went
don't
to
remember what it was, but it's recorded. It's on one of our episodes.
Texas
It was
Roadhouse.
Texas You owe me Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, let's go to Texas Roadhouse and do
Tonight.
the water challenge. Let's do the ice water challenge.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We leave, we stop recording. We've got to go.
Sorry, guys.
All right, Wingstop
So-
for the second one. You owe me Texas Roadhouse, and you're going to owe me Wingstop at the end of the year. Let's go.
Okay.
This is serious. Everyone mark your calendars. Check up. Ask Hollis how the gym's going.
Thank you.
That's what you have to do. Welcome to This is Kingdom, a good news brand podcast. This is Grace.
This is Talon.
This is TJ.
This is Hollis.
And this week, we're talking about Worship by Elder Christofferson.
Okay, everyone. I got a new pair of shoes, and it's controversial. My new
I don't
shoes.
know if I like it yet.
My new shoes are controversial.
Pull them up. Pull them up.
Oh,
Pull them up, yeah.
Sorry if you're just listening
Well,
to this.
I thought you were just going to bring the shoe. She brought the whole
She's
foot.
actually showing it. All of us wear very distinct shoes if you think about it.
Yeah, that's true. Hollis wears 2-inch platforms. Anyways.
Okay.
Okay. So I got these new shoes. They're jelly shoes, in case you're just listening, not watching. I got these jelly shoes. They're a little controversial. Some people don't like them. I love them. But today I was just driving and I got out of the car and I checked my phone and I got this text. And it was from my sister-in-law and my niece, who is my favorite human alive ever. My niece went to the store and she decided to buy a pair of jelly shoes because she wanted to be like me. And I'm not kidding you. It was the best moment of my entire life. Like, it was the highlight of my life that, like, the only reason she got those shoes is because she wanted to be like me. And I don't know if there's a single other thing that anyone in my entire life has ever done that's meant more to me than her buying those jelly shoes. It meant the entire world. Like, I was so flattered. I felt adored. Like, I was like, I couldn't even believe it was real. And it's interesting because there's this line in this talk where he brings up that imitation is the like greatest form of flattery. And I had never thought about that for worship. And like in my head, worship is always like an event or like going to church on Sunday. But this idea of like imitation has changed the way I see worship because we're obviously worshiping Jesus Christ. And if you imagine like imitation is the like best form of flattery, then what worship is really asking us to do is to follow Jesus's way and to live like Jesus lived. And then all of a sudden I started thinking like, oh, wait, the way I've imagined and like created this idea of worship in my head is so much simpler than I've ever thought. All I really need to do is pause and say, oh, how would Jesus be living in this moment? And if I start living like that, that is me worshiping him. That is me making him feel adored. That's my showing of adoration is simply by saying, how would Jesus live in this moment? And I started like stopping and being like, okay, like let's begin with Sunday. And if I think about church on Sunday, like, am I singing the hymns the way Jesus would sing the hymns? And am I listening to the talks the way Jesus would listen to the talks? And am I taking the sacrament the way Jesus would take to the sacrament? And I think if I was, I'd be doing it differently. And the thing that I kept thinking like over and over and over again is the way Jesus would take the sacrament, the way Jesus would sing, the way Jesus would pray, the way Jesus would listen to talks is fully present. Is he would be sitting there and he would be giving his entire soul to that experience. And that's not how I worship right now. And I think that's why my worship doesn't even feel like worship. And I think the second I start living fully present in those moments is the moment that I start experiencing worship at church.
Wait, I have a question and a comment. I don't know which one to say first. I'm going to say my question. We'll come back to the comment. What do you think is the result when you actually are truly worshiping? What do you guys think is the result of that? Like, what's the why behind that, you know?
I have a quote here.
The
from
TJ's
Elder
ready.
Kieran. Okay. And he shares, I think he shares one answer of what the result could be. And so I like it. And so Elder Christofferson shares this quote from Elder Kieran. And Elder Kieran said, to attend means to be present at, but to worship is to intentionally praise and adore our God in a way that transforms us.
Oh,
and so cool. I feel like one result is like being transformed, like being changed. And there's a quote that I love from Elder Richard G. Scott. and he said,
He has such good quotes.
yeah, he's so solid. And I might have to paraphrase a little bit, but he says, we become who we want to become by doing the things
Consistently being who we want to be.
who we want to become.
Wow, why
right?
did you know?
Yeah.
I know so
He
many
was so
quotes.
excited to
I know
say
so
that.
many.
Wait, you got to say it one more time. Say it one
Yeah.
more time now.
Hollis, maybe you say it.
Yes.
We become who we want to become by consistently being who we want to become.
Cool.
Whoa.
And it's so sick of like, if we're thinking about how would Jesus show up in this situation and we try to do that, we're going to be becoming more like Jesus. And Elder Christofferson says that's one of the best forms of worship there is. I think that's the result. That's the outcome.
I love that so much. Reminds me of just of that concept. We don't have to look forward to heaven, but we can create heaven right now. And that's by becoming and worshiping now. It reminds me of when I was a kid, I had a home teacher that was like old school ministering, if you guys don't know what that is. But we had this home teacher that would come to our house every single week, check up on us, and had the best attitude and loved it so much. And as a kid, I would notice other people trying to do it and they didn't really like that form of ministering. They thought it was just a lot to do. But with him, I realized that he got so much out of it because he put so much into it. And that was really cool to change how I worship. If I want to get a lot out of something, I need to put the proper time, dedication, and focus to becoming. And I think that's one way I can just worship so much better, especially at church.
I think it's cool because I think you could bring up any area of your life and think that how could I imitate Christ in this area of my life? But I love that you brought up church, and I've been thinking about church, and I think a lot of times for me, I just get zoned out. I bet a lot of us do that. But I remember this bishop that I had growing up that just was such a good guy, and I remember there'd be times that I'd be zoned out, and then I would look at him, and he would be looking at the speaker, and he would just have tears going down his cheek, and I was like, oh, what? Like what are they saying? What's going on? And he listened in a way that he was with them. Like he was listening, like he was having a conversation with them. I'm like, oh, I think that's how Christ would listen to every talk, where he's like, I'm fully here. I'm with you. I'm seeing your experience, you know?
Well, and that is so interesting when you think about what we just learned that the result of worship is transformation. And he was walking out of those church meetings transformed. He was a different person than when he walked in. And that is really interesting to me because my soul craves life-changing experiences.
Same, 100%.
I think everyone's does. We want that. That's why I think so many of us are like, oh, I want to go travel because I think that's going to give me a life-changing
it'll be
experience. Or, like,
life-changing, yeah.
let's do something crazy tonight because that'll like make me feel like I like had a life-changing night. Like I think inherently we crave that experience, being transformed. And I don't think we always connect that to worship. Like that is how you be transformed, is worshiping him. And I was at a state conference a few months ago, and Elder Kieran was there, like presiding. Is that what you do if you're? I don't know.
Hanging, you know? I don't know.
Elder Kieran was at state conference. Okay, that's what I know. And I started watching him during the songs, and it truly changed my life. Mostly because I'm a horrible singer. Okay, I'm just absolutely awful, and
That's a lie.
that's a truth.
It's actually kind of true. I mean, we're not great, Grace.
We're
We
not
understand.
great.
We
We're not
understand.
great. And the thing about it is that, like, specifically with the hymns, I'm actually worse at those than any other song. I don't know why they like make those like impossible for someone like me to sing ever. And so I just like, I'm not gonna lie, I just don't sing them. Like in church, I'm like, I'm gonna have a better experience if I don't try to sing this song. That was always my excuse. Like I was like, oh, I'll read the words and I'll listen, but if I sing it, it's gonna be a worse experience for me. And then I watched Elder Kieran sing, and it's not that he was the best singer in the room, but he was the loudest. Like he was like gonna sing with his whole entire soul. And not only that, but like every single word. And he would say lines and you could see the reaction to the lines on his face. Like if it was a beautiful line, like his smile. And if it was like a heart-wrenching line, like you could see it on his face. And by the end of every single song, he was weeping on the stand, like weeping through the song. He was experiencing something that was changing his life. And I was sitting in the stands watching it, missing out. And that changed my experience of singing, because I know that if Jesus Christ were singing the hymns, he would sing them like Elder Kieran. He would sing with his whole soul. Even if he was a bad singer, he would sing loud. Even if he didn't really know the song as good as the next person, he would be reading the words and singing the words in a way that would make him weep by the end of the song. And that was transformative. And it made me, watching that, want to be a part of it more, because I didn't want to miss out on that experience.
Yeah, I just made a decision. I actually have been thinking about this, but this confirmed my decision. I'm done taking my phone in sacrament meeting.
Well,
I'm completely done taking it in. I'm not doing it anymore because I'm missing life-changing experiences because I'm distracted. And I'm checking lesser things, just dumb things, things that they're not going to transform me. They're going to distract me. They're going to entertain me, but they're not going to change me. I want life-changing experiences. And it's keeping me from doing that because I don't have self-control. So I just got to leave it out. You know what I mean?
That's sick.
but that's also
That's
interesting
so
because
good.
why do we even need our phones in sacrament
I
meetings?
don't know. I'm feeling so called out now. I literally will check fantasy football updates from sacrament meeting and get so I'm confessing.
It's
right
not even
now.
football season.
It's okay, during
He's
football
still
season,
checking.
not right now.
He goes through week by week of last season.
But it's cool because Elder Christofferson talks about this. Like, this is so cool because he talks about, he says the third big thing he want to talk about is the exclusivity of our worship. And like doing something like this or whatever you feel inspired to do, that like helps you be like exclusively worshiping Jesus. And that's so sick. So fun fact, my wife Lo's parents used to be in a band.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
man. It was,
did
like,
not
on
think
the
that's what you were going to
keys.
say.
It was like-
That's
it was
also
like
not what I thought you were
It
gonna
was
say.
it was sick. And guess what the name of the band was?
I have no idea.
It's right here in his talk. Magi. But
Wait,
I just have to
what?
shout them out, bro. But hold on, but Elder Christofferson in the beginning of his talk, he talks about the Magi, and look at who they are. They are Magi. They are sometimes called were wise in seeking to find and worship the Messiah. For them, worshiping meant falling down before him and offering him gifts of gold and precious, fragrant spices. And I'm just like, this is just hitting me like full circle back to what Grace shared in the beginning of like, how would Jesus feel? Like, I bet Jesus feels so happy and so pumped and just feels so good when he sees us trying to emulate him in our worship, in leaving our phone out, in singing the songs, in paying attention to the sacrament and focusing on Jesus. I just think it's such a great gift that we can give. So let's be like the Magi, y'all.
Let's go.
Start a band.
No, this is good. This is a good conversation for me because the more I think about it, I'm like, I've never had a conversation with somebody that I've been distracted that's been life-changing. I've never had an experience that's been life-changing that I was distracted. You do not have transformative experiences if you're distracted.
And one thing that I wasn't thinking about even preparing for this, but when TJ started talking about the outcome of worship being transformation, it's changed the way I see church, even just within the last 13 minutes. Because all of a sudden I started realizing every single Sunday has the potential to change my life. And I really do believe that. Not because I am great at going to church so far. Like, I'm not like the best like listener at church, and I'm not like the least distracted at church. Like, I actually feel really called out in this episode because I'm not
Same.
always like that at church.
Same.
But what I just realized is I believe in a God who can change my life in 2 hours. I do. I believe in a God that is capable of changing every way that I've ever thought in the span of 2 hours. And he has given us a place to do that every single week. Every week he says, come in here and be transformed. Do you want to know how? Worship me. Watch how that transforms you. And the only way that's possible is if you step into that building, you step into that room fully present, fully ready to give your entire heart to him there.
God, I love to worship you. All my life I offer you simple melodies of sacrifice. Open hands and open heart, you're the only one I want. Your presence is my treasure, my delight. Fall like rain. Holy Spirit, fall like rain. Holy Spirit, have your way. Let your glory fall down. Let your glory fall down.
That was the best song.
That was
I
so
love
good.
that song.
That
I've
was
never
so
heard that.
good.
That was my number one played song last year.
No, it's
Did you
so
know?
good. Okay, well, we want to hear all of your thoughts about worship, about church, about transformative experiences. So make sure you comment them on our video. We love you, and we'll see you next week.